Hey everyone, this is Ravi from Team Media. Today I'm going to be working with Make.com AI agents, and I'm basically going to take this automation that I've created before and is on one of my previous videos, and I'm going to be transforming it into this, which is an AI agent, okay? Which is essentially the same thing, but using the new Make.com AI agents, okay? Right, so first thing that I want to be doing is that I want to exactly show you guys, give you a quick recap of what this is doing, right? So the first thing that this is doing is that it's watching for messages that are going into my Outlook account. You can do this with Gmail, with Outlook, with any other kind of email provider that you guys have. You just need to find the module for it. However, I will add a little star on the Gmail side, and it's the fact that when you want to do an Gmail automation like this one, you first need to create an app for it, and then afterwards you basically connect to that app, and you have to go through IMAP and all the rest of it. At some point I will make a video on that, but for this video it kind of escapes the scope of it. I will, however, make a video on it, and I will connect the resources that I've used to actually make the Gmail app, which is, well, it basically just looks like this, okay? And you basically have to give it a lot of permissions and a whole bunch of other things, which I will cover in another video, guys. Right, so the next thing that it's doing over here is that it's deciding whether or not it's a email that has been generated from a form that's been filled out on our website, right? So over here, is this a form from site? So basically, as you can see, I've made it so that the email address is equal to a specific email address that I've configured to it, and it's the same on my other automation, okay? I'm basically doing slightly different logic for the form not being on the site and the form being on the site, okay? And this is the email address that I'm using as a test email, which I will test out with you guys right now, okay? This automation is basically just Word, and I'll show you guys the email address, but I do want to cover a couple of other things before I do that, okay? The reason I wanted to make this into an AI agent, or leverage the power of an AI agent to actually get this done, is because, as you can see here, these two blocks over here, they are these two little things over here, and this one and these two. What these are doing is that they're basically classifying the email to basically figure out whether or not this is a marketing email or whether it's an actual possible lead, and then it's going on to actually creating a message or creating an email for that specific person, or here it's just replying to the message. So here, if it's a form on the site, you first extracting all of the relevant information on the actual form, and then you're continuing on with this path. And down here, what you're doing is basically the email is not from a form on the site, so you're basically just doing all of this just down here, okay? So that's kind of the reason why I wanted to make an AI agent, to just make it so that I didn't have to rewrite the entire thing twice, okay? So that's what I've basically done here, and now I'm basically going to show you how everything is going everywhere, okay? First up, I'm basically having this as a watch messages on demand, and whenever this sees a message, it will execute, and it will go from the not form on site or from the form is on the site, and it will go through this custom logic, okay? This make AI agent. Now, the first thing that you want to be doing in order to create an agent is to come over here into AI agents. I've actually got it open over here, and you're going to basically create an agent. This is the agent that I've already got, but you can always create an agent and leverage the connection of the OpenAI, and then you figure out an aim and the model that you want to be using. Right now I'm using, I think it's a GPT 4.1 mini, okay? And I'm not going to create another one because I've already got this one and it's working perfectly, okay? Now on the agent, what you can do is that you can add context to it. So if you want to make it specific to a specific company or whatever it is, I generally do think that this is a pretty powerful option because you can add a lot of different kinds of data to it. And over here you've got the system tools. So these are scenarios that your agent will be built with. So, and you can always access them and complete the tasks that are necessary. Now, I don't like to add scenarios in here as system tools, because if I do want to use this email auto response agent in a variety of different industries, in a variety of different instances, then I can just use the same one and I don't need to like go and create another one and that sort of thing. Although there are definite advantages and disadvantages to that. Right, so next up, what I would like to cover is the tools that I've basically defined in this agent. So this is an email classifier tool, which is basically what I've told you from over here. This one, and this one, what they're doing is that they're checking for marketing emails, and if they are a marketing email, then the message is moved into a folder which is called marketing emails, right? Which is right here. Okay, so I'm basically figuring out whether or not this email is a lead or not a lead. So basically this is a email classification tool, which is the same as I've got over here. This is router. This router is basically the classification tool, which is going down if it's a marketing email, and if it's a possible lead, then it's going up this way. And that's essentially what I've got over here at the email classifier tool. And with the email classifier tool, what I've done is basically just added it as a additional tool onto my email auto response agent, okay, which I've defined over here. And I've also added a reply to email tool, which is here. No, it is here. Yeah, it's here. Send an email. Yeah, that's it. Reply to email. Okay. Yeah, it's this one. Reply to an email. Now, I had a little bit of trouble with this automation because before I was essentially like classifying this, moving this message into a separate folder before I was actually responding to it, right? And then this one didn't work, right? But you live, you learn. I'm basically defining what the background information is, this is for a locksmithing agency, so I'm basically just giving it the background information, what the locksmith company is about. Then I'm just going down this way and answering frequently asked questions, and down here what I'm doing is basically telling exactly the process to follow in order to use this AI agent, right? So use the email classifier tool to classify emails and find the people interested in locksmithing service. Once a lead is defined, blah blah blah, etc etc. And then here I'm basically putting the email tool requirements. Okay, so I'm passing in the message ID, the subject, the body content, and in the reply to email, if I am getting a lead, so if once a lead is identified, craft the reply to their email and use the reply to email tool, right? Only if it's an actual lead. And then if I do want to reply to the email tool, then I'm basically using the message ID and the email content. And the reason I'm basically passing the email ID is to basically classify the message afterwards and have it all in one folder, right? And yeah, that's basically it. And in the down here, if it is a form on the site, what I'm basically doing first of all is that I am extracting the necessary information. So you're a helpful text structuring assistant, and what I'm doing is basically telling them what the incoming message is going to look like and what I'm expecting to have out of this. Okay, now I did this as a transform text to structured data, and I basically defined the entire structured data over here. And over here also you get to define the structure of the data, which is like quite rigorous. So this won't fail. So if it's very rigorous, it won't fail, right? So that, and then I saved this, and then I basically fed it into my make AI agent. And the only difference here is that I'm using a send email rather than a reply to email automation. So over here, what I've basically done is that I've made it so that over here you're making a summary, I believe. So create a following email subject based on the following email. So email content, right? I've already said that I'm going to receive a form from an email, and this AI agent is basically going to, this is the email content. If the email is not from a lead, your work on this email is finished. And when you have received confirmation that this from the tool that this is a lead, generate a response, okay? In HTML format as email content, then pass email content, email, and message ID to the send email tool. And then on here, what I'm doing is basically creating a subject for that email and sending it over here, and then moving the message onto the leads folder. Right, so let's get this tested, and then I will speak a little bit more. Right, so it looks like it's working. I have tried it a couple of times before this run, so I'm not really sure why, but my email classifier scenario had old data in it, and that's kind of what was giving some errors. And now from what I am seeing, it has responded to me and has gone through and given me an email. So I'm just going to check that real quick. And yeah, it's basically responded to me in the way that I was hoping for. Hey dear Pablo, thank you for reaching out to Locksmith XYZ, blah blah blah, and it's basically providing a really good answer to this. Now, as you can see here, it's also classified this email from Pablo, right, Alaurin de la Torre, which has been the email that I sent to like emulate a form that has been sent on the site, okay? And it's basically answered like really well. This is the answer that I'm getting. Now, I will say something is that over here I usually have quite a lot of different newsletters. So the one thing that I should be doing is that over here, aside from marketing, I should make another folder saying newsletters, and then with the newsletters I'm going to do something that is useful, because I do like my newsletters. I sometimes read these, but I don't always read them. So I'm gonna move that into inbox, and then after that, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to actually cancel. I'm going to be doing that now. Actually, I'm going to be renaming this into newsletters, and I'm going to make it so that I'm just putting the newsletters that I want in here, and then I can basically do something interesting with these. Maybe put them in a notebook LLM or notepad LLM or something like that. I'll figure out a good solution for you guys, and I'll keep you posted. Aside from that, I'm pretty sure that I covered Gmail and IMAP. Right guys, so now I want to cover a couple of the issues that I've been facing when producing these scenarios, and what the difference between having one of these big scenarios versus the AI agents scenario has been. So I find that my normal scenarios are a lot more robust, in the sense that you directly depend on the results from the previous nodes. So you can they're very very easy to basically code. So in this message outlook, you'll basically click here and you'll have all of these different how to say variables to choose from, and they will be very very robust in that sense. They will not fail essentially. Whereas with this one, within the make AI agents, you are giving the AI agent a little bit of room to interpret what you want, right? So sometimes a variable will be misplaced, or a variable will be set in another way, etc., etc., etc. And that's kind of why in my prompts, if you had a look at them, my AI agents had a lot of repetition in them. They had a lot of repetition in the sense that you should give this tool this kind of information, etc., etc., etc. And I did that because I know that in these automations you really need to make it so that there is no room for interpretation. If you do give the AI room for interpretation and you give it sloppy commands, it will just pull whatever kind of variables it wants, and that's really not good. So in terms of making a really complex application, I would generally tell you to use make AI agent. Yes, of course, which they are very very powerful. However, you shouldn't really rely on them and expect them to be the be all end all. Yeah. However, these make AI agents are incredibly powerful for things like Facebook Messenger or Instagram or WhatsApps or SMS communications, because of the fact that these AI agents, they will have this what is called a thread ID. So right now what I'm basically making it is that the thread ID is going to be the same as the email that has been doing the sending, so the sender email. So I'll just make it equal to that, so the sender email, and that will basically mean that each of the interactions will be specific to that specific email. And you can even take it a step further and hitch it to your Go High Level account, which I've done here, right? And make sure that it's actually a contact or not a contact, and you can do quite a lot of different things with this. So yeah, I will make a few more videos on make AI agents, because I do need to make a Facebook and an Instagram autoresponder as well as an SMS autoresponder. And yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on this, and make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications to get more videos from yours truly. It's been a pleasure to show you guys what I've been doing, and I hope you guys have found value in this, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.